basically entree back into the Middle East after they've been gone since 1973. And I think that it's important for us to recognize that. I think there's no question, and you've seen it repeatedly in multiple sources, that the Russians did attempt to interfere in our elections in 2016. They will attempt to do so again. I think they need to understand the consequences of doing that. And I think that's the sort of threat that the adversarial Russia poses is another reason why we have to make sure our commitment to NATO is absolutely clear, absolutely solid, and whatever discussions we have about our NATO partners paying their fair share have to always be under the umbrella of, we know this is, you know, the most important military alliance that we have, and that this is one that we will absolutely honor. Article 5, I think the Russians need to know they better not make miscalculations about our commitment to NATO and to the defense of our NATO partner. Look, I think that Vladimir Putin is an adversary. I think Vladimir Putin is KGB, you know, the successor of the FSB, but that's his background. He's a thug. Well, I think that we cannot allow a situation to stand where you have the Russians, the Chinese, the Cubans, so actively involved in our own hemisphere, so actively involved in terms of the support for the Maduro government. And I think, you know, when you look at, for example, the fact that we had a couple of weeks ago, the Maduro regime, you know, burning truckloads full of humanitarian supplies for the people of Venezuela, I think we need to be doing everything possible to back Guaido and make sure that we send a very clear message. I think in some ways this is a test. You know, the Russians are trying to sort out whether or not they can foment this kind of violence and upheaval in our hemisphere and whether we'll stand for it. I think everyone would like to find a solution that doesn't, you know, require U.S. military force, U.S. troops on the ground. I think that, you know, making sure, though, that the Venezuelan, the Maduro government understands that we stand with Guaido and we stand with the people of Venezuela is very important. I don't think we have any choice. I think it's the right policy. I think it's an important policy. I think that, you know, the mullahs who rule the country have got to understand that we're, you know, not going to continue to go down the path of saying somehow we'll accept a phony deal, knowing that it doesn't protect our security just because it maybe, you know, gives commentators more comfort. I think the maximum pressure campaign is crucial. And I think, you know, the designation of the IRGC and of Omar Soleimani was the right thing to do. And as I mentioned before, the Iranians need to understand that we're not in a situation where they can try to sort of bully us off of what we know is in our fundamental national interest.